I this hangout is
just sent our first payment.
okay. I'm live, Billy.
I'll be quiet. Is this audio and video or just typing?
I'm talking.
Okay, so it's your picture and everything. Good.
But people can write me.
I'll be in the potty soon. I'll get out of your way.
So Megan, are you there? Let's see. Okay, I am live. Okay, can anybody see me? I need to hear some chatter. Can anybody see me? Is
None of that.
So somebody talk to me. Megan, if you're there, ask me a question just so I can see somebody type something. I will be honest, this is scaring me a little. Not scaring me, it's unnerving. It's unnerving because I've never done it before. We're all sometimes out of our comfort zone and we get really nervous. Does anybody else get nervous when they're asked to do something? I have questions. I can't see them. All right, I need somebody to type something that I can see. Let me see where I can find you. Wait a minute. Okay, where can I find what you're writing? I gotta find where you are. 3 viewers. Oh my goodness. Let's see, is that Megan? Yep, that's Megan. Hang on. Okay, where can I see people typing? Okay, I see 3 viewers, but my birthday party, okay, but where on the right-hand side? I see me. All right, why can't I see them? Where can I see them? Nope, I see nothing. I see 3 viewers, links, my birthday party, me. So hang on, people. Hang on. Be patient. All right, y'all. Okay, don't go anywhere, people. Don't. I just can't see your questions. So stick with me. Stick with me. Don't go anywhere. I'm looking. All right, where is everybody? I know you can see people, but why can't I see questions? All right. Well, where are they? I want to be able to see people. I mean, I can see, I want to see their questions. I want to see the questions. I feel dumb. Okay, I wish I could see you. All right, 3 viewers, and it won't let me click on anything. Wow, I see me. So what are the questions? Megan, can you tell me questions? You're not learning anything from me. I can't even see your questions. That's crazy. Technology. I'm not good at technology. I'm not. I'm on my sweatpants. And I took off my Dude sweatshirt. Okay. I wish I could see these. My favorite thing about the website is kind of like it was with writing the first Christmas Carol. It was not giving up. It became something that, just like the first Christmas Carol, it was, there were times when I just, it didn't seem worth it. You know, the hurt and the aggravation and the frustration and I was feeling about what I was doing to Megan, like kind of what I used to feel like I was doing to Bill with writing the first Christmas Carol. My frustrations were showing, and my patience wears thin, and I get pretty down on myself because just like tonight, I can't see what you're writing. And so I feel stupid, you know. And with the first Christmas Carol, it wasn't so much that I felt stupid too, because I didn't know how to write. And I just felt not good enough. Does that make sense? Maybe not good enough. I need your feedback. I need to see your questions. I got to figure out where your questions are because I want to see immediately what you're asking. Driving me crazy. Let me see. This could be my problem. Lori, I'm sorry, Lori. Again, I can't see who's asking me questions, so I feel really bad. Lori, I wrote the first Christmas Carol as a play in 1999. I was the director of a youth drama team, and we were supposed to do a Christmas production, and I didn't like anything I was finding. Everything had either been done before, or they were kind of schmaltzy, like a real old Hallmark movie channel movie in a way. It just, they weren't good. And they weren't for, I had 30 some young people to write for, or that needed a part. And so I just was determined I was going to write something. So I went to the Holiday Inn Express in our little town, and I locked myself in for 2 days. And when I walked out with the first Christmas Carol. And it was great. It was a great production. But the play was a lot different than the book. There were, remember, 30 some kids I had to write parts for. So it was different. But when it was all over, a lot of people asked if it was, the story I really saw in my head, and it wasn't. And so everybody kept encouraging me to turn it into a book. And so, all great intentions, like a lot of writers, I said, okay, I'm going to write a book. And I spent maybe 3 weeks on it and said, I'm not an author. I can't do this. Shelved it. And then a while later, I'd, be in my office or something, and I'd see it over there on the shelf, and I'd walk over and pull it out and, type on it a little more, and then go, I'm not an author. Shove it. And I did this for years. And finally, it was just one of those things that kept twisting in my gut. And I guess if you are one to believe in the Holy Spirit and how, it can work on you, well, I guess that's what was happening to me. So I went to a couple of writers' conferences and learned a little bit. And you can, at these writers' conferences, and forgive me because I'm not seeing which Lori I'm talking to about whether or not you've been to a writers' conference, but where you can, you can pitch to to agents and publishers and things. And so I happened to talk to an agent about the story, and one thing led to another. And then in the past 3 years, it started really coming together. And so I have an agent, and now I'm published, and it feels wonderful. But I will tell you this, David Morrell, very famous author. He was the author that created the character of Rambo. And he and I talked one time about writing, and he said, Marianne, if you ever get published, I can guarantee you the hardest book you will ever write will be your second one. And I'm finding that's pretty accurate. I've written another book, but it needs, tons and tons and tons of editing. But he's right. I'm having a harder time with the second one than I did with the first one. So, okay, I'm going looking for your questions again. What? Go ahead. Okay, Lisa, let Megan tell me that first question one more time. Can you do that, Megan? I need to have more confidence. I mean, and that's across the board. I would tell myself not to beat myself up so much, and to have more confidence. That's what I would do differently, and that is what I would still do right now. And I would encourage everybody who's on here right now that you gotta believe. You gotta take that step, that leap of faith, and hire good help. I'm sorry, Megan. No, it's that feeling of, I beat myself up all the time, and it had to have been exhausting for Bill and Jessica to constantly have to reassure me. And so I regret that I did that to them. And so I would encourage you to not do that to yourself, because it's a hard habit to break. It really is. I say I'm sorry all the time, even about things that I have absolutely no reason to feel sorry about. But I do it all the time. Megan, everybody, I can't, just about everybody I come into contact with tells me, why do you apologize so much? I do. And it's because I was so hard on myself before about, or at least partly, because I didn't think I was up to the task at all. All right, there was the second question in there. I'm glad you're here too. Oh, hi, Lisa. Back to that. Okay. In the play, the kids, I can tell you right up front about the play, was being able to do the play with the kids. And that is a lot. I know that is the answer because I still have their picture in my office on my desk. I still have things that were given to me during that time period. Still have young people who talk to me about that was the greatest time in their life, about how it changed them. And it changed me. It definitely had an effect on me, but it was all about relationships. And I not just my relationship with the kids and their relationship with me, but our relationships with their families, with members of the church who started coming out in droves to help us. We built a set that you just wouldn't believe. We built the town of Bethlehem, and it was amazing. So it was the relationships with everybody, the families, the adults, just people who came out who had no children in the play, who had no kids involved in the church at all, but they wanted to offer their help. And so that's my best memory as far as the play goes, I think, is just the relationships that were created and the friendships. My daughter is still best friends with one of the young ladies that was in the play with her. So, yeah, that was a good thing. That was a good thing. Okay, the website. I love the concept that you come to my house, because there is so much of me in my house. Whether I love the kitchen, I love to cook. I love my office. Music is just such a huge part of who I am. So each room has something that's very strong, very important to me. The library, obviously, books and authors. And one of the things that I really we're going to have to do a lot of tweaking after Christmas with the website, because I don't want my house to have candles in the windows anymore. It's time to take those down. And I will be putting up new photography. We will be tweaking some of the rooms a little bit. For one thing, I need to take off all the Christmas music, and we'll be putting on more music. And let me just, I'll take some of these things one at a time. When I talk about music, I will be having songs that I'll listen to when I'm reading, when I'm in the library, or music I will listen to when I cook, or, you know, when I write. There will be all kinds of music lists. And what the goal is that you can just click on one of those music sites or links that I have, and you should be able just to listen to music. You shouldn't have to turn off your computer. That's what the goal is. If you go into the kitchen, you will be seeing recipes. Well, I'll be adding recipes. And the thing is, to make the website work, is that then you give me recipes. You share recipes with me, and whomever is on the website, they will be able to see that the guest cookbook is up, and they can go through it and find recipes just like mine and test them out. So we can share recipes. We can share thoughts. Sometimes I will write about something that's happened in the kitchen, whether it's a memory or something that I've just done, whether it's I've spilled spaghetti sauce all over the floor, or I need help getting a stain out. Something that's simple, but it's interactive. I want you to be able to come on and say, look, I just read this book by so-and-so, and it's just fantastic. You just got to read this book. Well, I'm going to want to know, you know, what was the plot? What was it about? You know, tell me, what age specific, you know, was it written for kids? Was it written for adults? Should kids not read it? You know, that kind of thing. We're going to share books. We're going to share music. We're going to share, if you've seen a movie, go to the family room, post it. I want to know. People want to know if you've seen a movie and it was awful. Then tell us, I saw such and such, and I thought it was awful, and this is why. That's what it's about. It's for us all to. It's like you're coming to my house for a visit. And we talk about stuff, and it's music, food, our relationships, problems that are going on. You know, a lot of people have health issues, and I've been there, gone through it, still am going through it, and we'll be sharing more about that with you at some point. So it's a place where you can come and not be alone, you know? Just not be alone. Next. I've always been a Southern girl. I was born in Nashville, Tennessee, at Vanderbilt. My mom they didn't think I would make it. and my mom had to have surgery when she was pregnant with me, far along in her pregnancy. And they actually had to remove, she got pregnant with me on a very small piece of ovary. And for some reason, they felt like, while, you know, she was pregnant with me, that they needed to go in and remove the rest of that ovary. Don't ask, I have no idea. But I was fighting, and so they sent me to Vanderbilt. And I was born at Vanderbilt, and my dad was a DuPonter, and they moved him up to Delaware and back down. And so I ended up living, I was in Delaware, but I was barely breathing at that point. So meaning I was very, very small. And, but they moved back down south, and I did most of my growing up in Virginia and in Roanoke, Virginia. Did some growing up in Waynesboro, then moved to Roanoke, Virginia. Then that's where I met Bill, and we worked at a radio station, K92 in Roanoke. And then he and I and Jessica moved to Charleston, South Carolina. And from there, we moved here to the Raleigh area in North Carolina, and have lived here ever since, and have lived here long enough to definitely call it home. So I figure that North Carolina will be home until, you know, until it no longer is. How about that? We love North Carolina. So that's probably where I'll die, is North Carolina. Next. Okay. Birthday was yesterday, but really celebrated on Saturday. One of my favorite places to go is Pinehurst, North Carolina. And it's a little over an hour away from here, but it's like stepping into a whole different world and a whole different time period. It's a very small village, and yet it has some of the most world-renowned golf courses. No, I don't play golf. I grew up with golf. I know everything, you know, I understand the game of golf, but I don't play golf. But I love just walking around the area. It's got a beautiful old inn there, the Carolina Hotel. And Bill and I went to Pinehurst on our first wedding anniversary. Was it our first or second? Our first. Our second. Our first. And sorry, he's sitting on the other side of the room. And anyway, we fell in love with it. But then we didn't go back for quite a few years. But once we did go back and were able to do it on a fairly regular basis, that's when we just fell in love with the ambiance and everything about it. And so every year Bill takes me for my birthday, and we just to see the Christmas decorations. It's so neat. And usually it used to be that, or whenever we can, he takes me and we stay. But on Saturday, we just went for the day, and we took Jessica and her boyfriend and just had a wonderful, wonderful day. And then yesterday, what did I do yesterday? Megan, what did I do yesterday? Other than stay on the phone with you and worry about the website. That was what we did yesterday. Oh, yeah, that. Oh, I thought you were talking about something regarding the website, the book, and all that. Yeah, Dawn Williams is just an incredible pianist, and she gave 2 concerts yesterday. And if you don't go back in all of my, well, if you just go to the website, you can see, or go to my emails or anything like that, my postings, and you can see where I made a post about the concerts. Then you can click still on her link, and you can still get her Christmas CDs. She's just, if you love the piano, if you love piano music, you will really enjoy her music. She does have a band, does have a few strings in it. So it's good stuff, really good stuff. And I met some really interesting people, and there were some people who came to either have me sign the book they already have, or they bought books there. Bill was the narrator of the concerts, and what was really cool is she used part of the first Christmas Carol to start telling a story. She told 3 different story perspectives on the innkeeper, and connected them all with music. And one of the ones that she used was the first Christmas Carol. So it was really neat listening to Bill read my words. First time I heard that was last year, and she used the first Christmas Carol a little more in depth. And when I heard Bill, the first time I heard him reading the words, and with her playing the music real softly behind him, oh my, I lost it, totally lost it, because it was a whole different feeling, you know. It was really, really cool. So anyway, so that was yesterday and Saturday. All right, next. Ooh. Okay, you want to know if I have a favorite author and a favorite book. Well, it's kind of hard for me because I have so many. But C.S. Lewis is one of my very favorite authors. But I have, you know, and I almost hate to say specific names because, again, especially in, you know, our world, in our Christian world, as far as our Christian authors and those that with Lighthouse Publishing that publishes my books, and so many of the others, when I start naming names, it kind of, I could see where that might cause some hurt feelings, but it's because I could start going, oh, and her and him, and, you know, because they're all so good. I will tell you, somebody that did make an impact on me as far as writing was Anne Lamott, because she is just one of those, she tells it like it is. She isn't afraid to say what's on her mind. She grew up, she wasn't a Christian when she was growing up. And it's just the kind of the transformation that took place with her if you read through her various books. And I like her books. They're very real. But to tell you I have a favorite living author at the moment, I would have to sit down and make a handwritten list, or write a list and tell you why on each person, because each one has a particular reason, or maybe one particular book that I've read of theirs that I love. But it's kind of hard when you start going to writers' conferences and you meet these authors and you take their classes, and you're just so blown away by so many of them that it becomes difficult. It really does. And sure as shooting, as soon as I say somebody, I'll leave somebody out, and I would hate that. I would hate that. So, next question. You're right. We are so blessed to have as many authors and books as we do have, you know, are able to put our hands on. So. Lori, goodness. I have not gone to Blue Ridge, the Cindy and Eddie's boot camp. And I will tell you, last year was the first writers conference, the Blue Ridge Writers Conference. It was the first time I've attended in probably 4 years. I missed 3, at least 3, maybe 4, before this past May, because I was always up in Virginia helping with my mom. And I just wasn't able to get back. So last year in May was the first year I'd made it back to any writers conference, and it was the Blue Ridge Mountains Writers Conference at Ridgecrest. And Cindy Sproles and Eddie Jones have a great boot camp in January, sometimes February. I think it's coming up in January of next year. They're somewhere around the Asheville area. A lot of times they have it at Billy Graham's place, which is right down from Ridgecrest. And Black Mountain. Yeah, Black Mountain. And anyway, I have not been. I would love to go. I have met with them a few, gosh, again, we're talking probably 3-4 years ago, 4 years ago, before they actually called it boot camp. I met them in the winter, and it was still at Ridgecrest, but the weather was horrible, and it had snowed, and the roads were so icy that very few people made it. But I mean, very, very few people made it. I think there were maybe 10 of us at the most. But other than that, I have not been able to go back, or I have not been back. But they're good. I mean, you learn a lot, an awful lot. And now that I think about it, maybe I need to go to the one that they're going to be having coming up. But I don't know. I'll have to see about that. So. What area would I like to grow as a writer? All of it. All of it. There's just one problem I have is Christian. There's one of the differences between writing for the secular world versus the writing a Christian book is in Christian writing, Christian fiction, they call it head hopping, that you can only have one person's point of view going at a time. Now, if you read, a lot of non-Christian fiction, that rule doesn't apply quite like it does with the rules of Christian fiction writing. So I have a real problem with I head hop. For instance, if you and I are having a conversation and say a third person we see is sitting on a bench and they're watching us. Well, if I tell you that, he thinks that we are doing such and such, or that's not a good example. Wait a minute. The point is, I can't tell you what somebody else is thinking. If I'm not in their head, then I can't know what they're thinking. I can't assume to know what they're thinking. So I can only give you something from my point of view. If I'm the character speaking, then I can only speak from what that character can see, hear, feel, touch. But if I'm writing as me and I'm talking to somebody and I'm looking at you, I can't tell that person what you're thinking because I'm not inside your head. And it throws me sometimes because I'll head hop. You know, she said to so-and-so, well, you know, can you imagine? I mean, look at him. He must be thinking that. Well, I don't know that that's what he's thinking. Yeah, I'm not explaining it very well, but one of my worst problems is I head hop. And I had a lot of manuscripts, a lot of red ink, trust me, red ink on manuscripts because I was head hopping. Didn't mean to, I just was. But yeah, head hopping's one of my worst ones. And punctuation. Go ahead, what? Next question. You're teaching. Ah, wow. Lori, what are you teaching? Can you, again, I can't read your writing. Lori, what are you teaching? Okay, for the rest of you, Lori Hatcher is teaching at the Cove for boot camp. The Cove in North Carolina, like I was just talking about near Asheville, Black Mountain, Billy Graham's place. So it's in February, she said. So if you're looking for Hungry for God. That's her book, and she's going to be teaching. Lori's going to be teaching. Sorry, I got a cramp in my leg. I curl up in my chairs, y'all. I'm sorry. And you see my rocking chair? You see that I'm rocking? That is this chair. My father and his sister were rocked in this chair in the 30s. So the fact that it's still even together speaks a lot for it. It's wicker, and it's got the coolest creak. That's what I remembered of it when I was a kid. There were two of them. There was a set, and it just always had the coolest creak. But you can't hear the creak anymore, at least in my house, because it's not the right floor, I guess. Maybe it was the floor of my grandparents' house that was creaking and not the rocking chair. So, okay, question. Oh, gosh. Lori, where were you when all the... Lori is teaching at the Cove. She's teaching exactly what I was talking about a little while ago, about wanting to give up and the personal, verbal, and mental, emotional battles that we have within ourselves over our writing. And, you know, sure that probably those of you who are listening to me ramble right now, you're probably all writers or want to be writers, or you are way more published and stuff out there than I ever will dream of being. But don't we have those problems? Don't we do that all the time, regardless of what field we're in? Think about it. We have these conversations within ourselves about that we're not good enough, or that whatever we're doing, we're not good enough, or that we tell each other, or we tell ourselves that we can't do it, we shouldn't do it, we shouldn't try, what a waste of time, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not thin enough, I'm not, how many times do we have these ongoing sagas within ourselves? And I'm looking at myself in my computer, and I'm looking at my face right now going, I'm the worst. I mean, I do it all the time. And that I'm just constantly putting myself down, or the self-criticisms. I would never, ever talk about somebody else the way I talk about myself. And, that's the pits. Doesn't mean I'm sure that I'll get off of this thing and go, I'm such an idiot. I couldn't even see where they were writing their questions. But it's something I know I need to work. Megan's talking in my ear going, it's okay. It's no big deal. Yeah, it is. She says it's trial and error, and it's no big deal. Excuse me. But next one I'll have it down pat. I was working with Megan all day on this, but see, the thing is, I got the signing on. I got the part where I'm talking to you and I can see myself, but I never got to the part. It dawned on me, I didn't ask Megan to write a question so I could see your questions. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. All right. And this is Elisa. Is that right? Yeah, Elisa Elliott. She wants to know what my favorite Christmas tradition is. I will tell you that some of our traditions have changed. And of course, that will always be true when children grow up and families change and that kind of thing. But there are a few that we always have, and that is, and now of course I'm going, name one, but I can see my tree in the background. I love decorating my Christmas tree, and a lot of times we will have more than one because I have Mason's tree, which I haven't put up yet this year. Not real sure I'm going to, just simply because there's a lot of stuff to move since my mom died and I brought some things here at the house. I would have to really do a lot of maneuvering for it to happen. But anyway, back to the tree. It is something that I treasure. Opening up our ornaments are very unique. We buy a few every year, usually on sale after Christmas. Jessica, and that is one of the traditions, is after Christmas, Jessica and I would always go and find a few ornaments that would be on sale. And we'd be able to look around and get some of the really nice ones. And Bill always laughs at me because we would have to do that, because every year we always make a wager. How many am I going to break this year? And so far I've broken 3, I think, 2 or 3. But Jessica and I always, we would go to find new ornaments. But when I was up helping take care of Mom, by the time I got back home and she and I got to go look for ornaments, they were almost all sold out. So this year might be kind of neat that we get to go, because we're home. Bill and I are actually home for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, which we haven't been now for probably 6-7 years. So this is going to be a first for us. So buying the ornaments with Jessica, that's a tradition. Decorating the tree, that Bill doesn't even try anymore, because one time I said, help me put the ornaments on the tree. And he put one ornament on and I promptly walked over and moved it. So he's never helped me do that again. We used to, the big tradition was on Christmas Eve, we would have a spaghetti dinner. That we would always have spaghetti. We'd go to church, and if we didn't go to church, we would have some sort of fellowship, whether reading or doing something together. And it would be neat, because then the next morning would be Christmas morning, and Jessica would come down the steps when we told her it was okay. And what's really neat is this year, I told you we were going to get to be home, and Mason is 7, and Jessica has invited Bill and me to come to her house and be there when Mason comes down the steps, like Bill's parents used to be at our house on Christmas morning. So it's going to be kind of neat to wake up and drive over and be able to watch Mason come down the steps and see Santa Claus. So I know there's more, but I look around the room and think, I wish they could see this, and this. I do love decorating for the holidays, and I can tell when I'm a little off. when Mom was so sick and I just didn't feel like decorating. And last year, you know, she had just died and I definitely didn't feel like decorating. So it's kind of nice that this year I've got my, you know, my Martha Stewart back. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, that and cooking, lots of cooking. Oh, Megan's giving me a hard time about my recipes that are on the website. And excuse me, I've told you before that I learned to cook by watching my mom, and Mom just didn't measure that often. And it would be because, you know, you'd say, well, what's in this? Well, it was basically whatever she found in the pantry, and that's what she used to make whatever. So there wasn't a whole lot of measuring. Now, some things that there were, but for instance, I would never dream of making a pie crust or anything like that I didn't measure. But my mom would throw together biscuits or pie crust or anything like that and never measure that first time. So I did learn to go more with, well, what's in the pantry? So what am I going to throw in this time? And so I tried real hard to do the best I could with the recipes that I put on the website, and that I will continue to put on the website, about trying to give measurements. There are some of them though that I absolutely could not give you measurements. So I just gave you a list of ingredients. Well, I thought that was good, but then Megan throws into the thing, you said bake at 350 for how long? Man, must I do everything for her in the kitchen? So I didn't tell you how long on things, so I'm really sorry about that. I will try to do better, but for me, you keep it in the oven until it's brown and pretty and looks like it should come out. I don't know. I'm really bad about that. So I will work on it. I will do better. I will do better. Anyway. Okay. All right. Does anybody have any final questions? And not just that, but have you entered into the drawing for the $100 Amazon gift certificate? And second, hang on, Megan, can we draw for the $50 gift certificate? Oh, okay. Okay. Here's what Megan's telling you, or telling me to tell you. I want you to also enter for the $50 gift certificate, the Amazon gift certificate, okay? So when you get through here, you still have a couple of hours, but be sure you enter as many times as you can. Megan will see that you were a guest tonight. So however she counts that in and does all the configuring, you know, I don't know how Megan thinks and where that brain comes from on her head. You know, it scares me. It really scares me. I can't do stuff like that. So anyway, she will tally everything up. She will draw the name and will post it on my website in the morning. So, and I'm going to encourage her not to do it too early because she really needs to sleep. I've kept the woman up way too long, way too long. I've abused friendship, right? I really have. So be sure you enter, and I mean, be sure you do. Okay, Lori is talking to me again. What? And you expect me to remember all that. Megan's talking to me and my eyes are glazing over. If she will tally, go to my webpage. And first of all, on the author page, you will see the little blue box, the giveaways, the giveaway box. Always click on it. Now, were you saying something, Megan, about my website, that there's a place there? Okay, the giveaway box is right on the front page of, and you'll see it's like, what's it called? Rafflecopter, is that right? So you will be able to see it on the front page. And again, she knows who was here tonight and will know how to factor in a lot of that kind of thing. So just go to my author page or my website and look for those little blue boxes that say giveaway or Rafflecopter and click on those. Don't you love the way I talk with my hand all over the place? I didn't realize how much I talk with my hand until now that I'm watching myself do it. Gosh, I need to sit on my hands. But anyway, you will be able to find the giveaway boxes there. So, and we've got more contests and stuff coming up. So be sure you just keep checking in. I really appreciate y'all being here tonight. I really do. I'm going to learn how to do this, and we'll have more of these. It may be that we just kind of have a gab fest every now and then just to throw stuff around. And if ever you decide that maybe you would like to have a gab fest or there's something really on your mind, let me know. Let me know, and maybe we can just work it out that we have a bunch of us on together and we'll write questions and things, because who knows, maybe that's a good way to help each other out, not just with writing stuff, but with other stuff and recipes, I mean, anything. We'll get good at this. We will get good at this and we'll have a good time. All right. Y'all have a great, great night. All right. Bye.